Hi, welcome in. Today we are going to be talking about your document's custom views. Here I am on my document directory page, and we're currently looking at all of my documents. You can see there's around 224 of them at the moment. If I go up to the top of my page, I can click this gear icon. When I do, I'm able to view my settings. Here we've got 4 different tabs in order to customize my view. First, I have details, where I can group by any field so I can categorize the custom view I'm looking at. I have fields to turn on and off any information from my documents in my custom view. I have sort to sort in ascending or descending order any of my columns. Plus, I can always just click on a column header to sort. And then finally, we have filters. Filters is what allow us to include and exclude certain documents by defining them here by their different fields. Let's go ahead and play with all these different ways that you can customize your view. If I want to look at my outstanding proposals, I can do that right here. First, I might start on the Fields tab and consider all the information I want from my document to show up in this view. If I'm wanting to look at information about a proposal, there's a lot that I might be curious about. I might want to know the name, description, number, the type of the document that it is, what sort of margin we were working with. I've got all sorts of different information about the area of the job and all sorts of information about the sender and recipient, their address, when they were last active, last viewing, all sorts of good things like that. Plus information about the document itself, when it was due, when it's issued, all sorts of info like that, plus information from the job as well. For this particular view, I might go ahead and say I care about when it was issued. So I searched up issue date and I'll turn that field on. Now I can clear my search, see that issue date was added, and I can use the drag and drop arrow to bring that field up anywhere I want. Now to see this change, I'm going to go to the bottom and click apply. Now you can see issue date has been added and it's in the place where I put it. I can also go over to sort, and maybe I want to sort this by the due date. So that way I can see how overdue some of these documents are. So I'll get rid of created at and keep due date. Once again, I'll hit apply. And now you can see we've got a different ordering system. But I mentioned that I wanted to look at my outstanding customer proposals. And right now we're looking at all of my documents. You see, we've got a ton of expenses and bills here. So I'll use filters and I'll define what I want to look at. I'll click plus filter and I will choose the field of full name. And I will say that my full name contains proposal. Click apply. And now we're only looking at my proposals. We went from hundreds of documents down to just 65. Plus, I do want to define if these are overdue, so I can keep on adding filters to define them. So I'll say and, which means both, or would have meant either. Click and. I will say that the due date is, and then I get to define that. So I will say the due date is before today. And now that's a dynamic field, and dynamic means that it's not static. So today will change. If today is Monday, you look at this view tomorrow on Tuesday, and the view will be automatically updated. Today is dynamic. I'll click apply. And now we're only looking at my expired proposals. We're down to 50 at this point. When you're creating a view like this, you can further filter to go ahead and define if the document is a part of a job that's been closed, is open, if the job was sold. Are these all expired proposals like we're looking at right now? Or do you only want to look at those that are expired and they were never signed? So you can just keep on using filters and for both or for either to really get at exactly the information that you want. Now I can go ahead and click Save As to create a new view. If I clicked save, I would override what I'm currently looking at. And I'm currently looking at all documents, so I don't want to override that. I'll click Save As and give it a name. Hit OK. And now Expired Proposals is on my list dropdown. It's automatically under my personal views, and when I click on Details, I'm able to convert to an organization view if I want to share this out. Now, this will be eligible for other people to see. Plus, when I click on this view dropdown, any of the views that I've created, I can go ahead and give a star to, which means that it becomes my default view. So if I look at my expired proposals, click the star, now anytime I click back on my documents, that expired proposals is my default view. Some other helpful custom views at the document level might be looking at all of your ordering and receiving. Here, I organized all of my fields to look to see what my pending and draft vendor orders are. And I put the subject line on here up in front so I can go ahead and see what we've got going on. I also am able to see when my recipient last viewed any of my documents and when my recipient was last active in JobTread, so I can see if this recipient is interested in what I've sent them. I can also define my proposal followed up by using the grouping function to go ahead and group all of my proposals that are outstanding by their designated sales rep. I can also check out my open bills to get a good look at my AP, my open invoices for my AR, and I can look at all of my change orders and also group those by my estimator, project manager, or other factors to understand why I'm having change orders and who might be behind it. I'm also using my subject lines here so that I can go ahead and see what we are doing most of our change orders on. I'm also using the amount to see how much we're spending on all of these change orders. So that's a review of how to create custom views and documents. If you have any outstanding questions, never hesitate to reach out. You have your customer success manager you're always free to talk to, plus there's our support team for you to email or call. You can email them at support@jobtread.com. Thank you.